So I'm going to take my webcam away for now, get right into the fancy slides here. So we got a question. Yes, can see you. Okay, good to hear. Appreciate that. So this is what people typically think of when they think of fitness, right? Green smoothies, 2-hour workouts, just the worst of the worst. And honestly, it sets people up for failure because they just don't even bother starting. But this is what I think about when, oh, one sec. New attendee is stalled out. So that's what I think of when I think of a green smoothie. Projectile vomit. And honestly, you can get in good shape without having to eat or drink green veggies, green smoothies every day, all day. There are better ways to do it that allow for cheat foods and still allow for fat loss throughout the process. So that's pretty much what I'm going to show you today. And I'll briefly touch upon most of you guys know who I am, where I started, what got me to be a fitness trainer in the first place. So I'm not going to rehash that story necessarily. But I did hit rock bottom in high school. Actually, probably 10 pounds more than this was my worst. Nothing wrong with that. I just wasn't happy in my own skin. And fitness, gave me an outlet. And now 13, 14 years later, I do it for a living. So there was a lot of trials and tribulations in between, but I learned from everything, and that's what I'm trying to convey to people now to fast track their results. So the main problem is unrealistic expectations. We got the guys with abs in the magazines, the girls that are airbrushed perfectly, guys like this who probably photoshopped and probably a bit of oil in his arms as well. But you have that image of what fitness is, so a lot of people don't even start, don't even pick up a weight, when that is really unfortunate. So this webinar is going to show you basically 3 ways to live your best life, lose weight, without being a slave to the gym, to the treadmill, eating like a fitness model, that type of thing. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to plan your meals in a pretty simple way that kind of sets you up for weight loss. How to clean up your environment to improve your hormonal profile, because that's a big one that's often overlooked. Is people eat out of plastic, it's BPA infested. Even the BPA free plastics, recent research has shown a lot of the same effects in regards to lowering your testosterone levels and thyroid hormone. So you can improve your environment, improve your hormones like they should be. They should be at the higher end of normal. So that's step 2. And the third piece is how to replace cardio almost entirely with something far better. And the fourth way that I didn't mention here, but that's the bonus, I'll leave till the end, just how to set up a diet that allows for pancakes every Sunday. Well, the scale still goes down each time. All right. So this is one of the big problems, is there's no blanket diet that works for everybody. We all are very different. I mean, if you're born with the FTO gene, you could burn as much as 160 fewer calories a day, and that gene's been linked to obesity. There's a test you could have done to find out, but usually you can kind of figure out if it is or not based on, if you're a chubby guy. And then there's the external factors, which are upbringing, what your mom ate when you were in the womb, how your parents brought you up, if they had a bad lifestyle and it kind of trickled down to you. Those genetics can affect your calorie burn per day as well, up to 5%. And then we have some people who are born with more brown fat, or their environment just has them created with more brown fat. Essentially, brown fat cells are a good thing, unlike white fat cells. Brown fat allows you to burn more calories a day, and you can create more of that. If you live in a cold environment, you work outside, that's one way. The better way is to exercise regularly. And the third way is to eat spicy foods, green tea to some degree as well. So small, minor differences, but it could be a difference of 400 calories a day that you could be burning compared to the next person. And then the other piece is we all sleep different amounts, and sleep deprivation puts your body in a state of, fatigue, and it thinks you're in trouble, so it decreases calorie burn to try to keep you alive, and that can affect your burn by up to 20%. So if you're sleep deprived, that's something you can't necessarily control at certain times in your life, but it could affect your calorie usage as well. The other thing is you try to eat healthy, and you're bombarded with marketing by the food industry. One example, here's this Wonder Bread that says it's with omega-3 fatty acids. Sounds good, right? However, you'd have to eat 114 slices of that bread in order to get the omega-3 content of 2 fish oil capsules. So it's no real different than the run-of-the-mill whole wheat bread sitting next to it. And then we have these fruit twists, which sounds great. It's got fruit on the 100% fruit snacks, no sugar added. That sounds great. But if you compare the calories on this to just run-of-the-mill Twizzlers, you're looking at the same sugar intake. So that's what you're battling up against when you are grocery shopping. Not easy. Again, here's another thing that says, it's veggie cups, but it has enough fiber in one cup to be 1/40th of a carrot. So clearly not on the same level as a carrot. So what this is all getting down to is eating whole foods, trying to avoid things that are in a box or wrapped in plastic. And this is essentially a diet that you can start most people off with. If they're starting from ground zero, this would, count for the first 10 plus pounds of weight loss. Eventually you have to get more technical if you want to continue on progression-wise, but essentially it's based on the hand size of the individual, so that kind of sets a calorie mark for, if you get smaller hands, you got less calorie burn overall. So based on the hand size, you're looking at 2 pounds of protein per meal, 2 fists of vegetables, 2 cupped hands of carbs. That could be rice, potatoes, pasta. There's quite a few options there. And 2 thumb lengths of fat, which in this case is nuts, but it could be 2 teaspoons of oil that the protein's cooked in, etc. So it sets a pretty good guideline here, 3-4 meals a day. That is a super easy way. You're not weighing your food on a scale or trying to count macros or something overly complicated. It's just based on your hand size. And that would get you started. Number 2 is that cleaning up your environment. I know I mentioned this earlier, BPA, we drink out of plastics, we eat out of plastics. And there's a lot of research out there showing this is just downright bad for us in the end. When it comes to testosterone production, your sex hormones, your thyroid hormones. Typically, if I have a client that is doing everything right and the scale just is not moving like it should with other people, I'll have them get a full blood panel, in particular look at their thyroid hormones and sex hormones, so testosterone. You probably have to request the testosterone. Doctors, for whatever reason, don't want to test for that, even though it's so much linked to quality of life. But full blood panel with your doctor or physical should cover that off. You want to make sure those are in a healthy range. Honestly, that's where you should start if you're having weight issues, is to look and rule that out first and foremost. It's far too often nowadays men just don't have the same testosterone levels of men a generation ago, and it's partly because of our environment, man-made environment. The third piece is don't become a slave to the treadmill. I can't count the number of clients that have come to me just stalled out with their weight loss who are doing, an hour of cardio a day on a treadmill, elliptical, stationary bike, and not getting anywhere in the results. And really, it's good for heart health in some ways. I wouldn't eliminate it entirely for the average person, but really, it is vastly overrated in comparison to strength training. Cardio is usually not the answer for men who want to lean out and add muscle. It's counterproductive to your goals in a lot of ways. So definitely a balancing act there. But the alternative is smart weight training. I mean, I'll point to Jordan here, throwing his mug up on the web for 60 people to see is nice of me, but he was slave to the treadmill in his before picture, trying to lose weight and not getting anywhere. And this was within 3 months. He lost 50 pounds and gained, I think, 5-6 pounds of lean body mass, which is quite a large amount for 3 months of work. And that was without any cardio. Smart weight training and diet, ultimately. And he's actually gotten far better without my help now. He's continued on his journey, so I give him full props for that. He's been great. All right. So I promised the fourth piece. I mean, let's quickly review, but essentially your meal plan is the first and foremost most important thing, and that can be portioned out with your hand size, like I mentioned earlier. Clean up your environment or get your blood work done to make sure your hormones are where they should be to start a plan. And then replace your cardio, or reduce it and replace it with smart weight training. Hard to get into weight training because it's such an individualized thing at this point, but a bodybuilding routine, yes and no. I mean, volume is the key, but it varies from person to person. It really does. Some people can handle, a ton of volume. Others just burn out with it. So it's really a case-by-case basis. You have to really get a feel for it. But the moment you've all been waiting for is that bonus piece. This is really how I diet nowadays. I wouldn't recommend it for someone just getting a handle on their digestive system, just starting out with a weight loss plan. But if you've kind of been stuck and eating fairly well and not getting anywhere, this is a great plan B to kind of take your results to the next level. Because everyone gets bored of rice and chicken, right? The key to this is to be in a calorie deficit Monday to Friday, do your weight training sessions, fairly big deficit certain days of the week. And then you would have a light breakfast on Saturday, light lunch, and have a fun dinner out with, if you're out with family or friends, a couple drinks, that type of thing. No crazy Saturday night. But Sunday, I mean, you could have a workout early in the morning, and then you've got a 3 to 6 hour window. It really depends on the client, but 3 to 6 hour window to pretty much go hog wild. There's a real science to this, but the only rule is really to keep it to moderately low fat foods. So pancakes, waffles, cereal, certain types of ice cream, and you pretty much pound back as much as you can over 3 to 6 hours. There's some real science to this. The leptin levels, it's fat-burning hormone in your body, that drops really low when you're dieting. If you're eating the same calories day after day, for weeks after week, you hit a wall with your weight loss. Your body's like, you're starving yourself, and I'm trying to keep you alive, so I'm going to stop this right here. But by boosting your leptin levels, tricking your body through a large calorie load in a short window of time, your leptin levels supercompensate through the week. So you might wake up 5-6 pounds heavier the next day, but your leptin levels have your metabolism through the roof. Thursday, Friday rolls around, and you have now lost, net a pound at least. So you may have been up by 5, but now you're down 6, you know what I mean? So you're losing 1 or 2 pounds a week. And there's a mental break to this as well, right? Because you get sick of eating the same things. And this is the best of both worlds. And weekends are the time to do it because you're not as busy with work. You like to enjoy yourself, go out with family and friends, especially in the summer. So that's really that. I'm going to try to bring out my webcam again here. I've had a few people drop out as expected. We're sitting around 60. I don't know if you have any questions to date. You can throw that in the question box. We've got one question. Can I eat Breyer's ice cream? We got a Breyer's fan, ladies and gentlemen. I did not pay them to put that in. Yeah, actually, I'm trying to think. Breyer's is fairly low fat. It's maybe 5 grams per cup. So that would certainly fit into the carb load as well. But I wouldn't go running into this if your week is not set up for a calorie deficit. I'd warn you to, if you're eating above maintenance all week and then you have a cheat day on the weekends, you're net positive, you're gaining weight overall. So that's the risk there. So I know I've had a few people already talk to me about the next transformation. Let's see. And that's what's opening. May 5th, we have the, I do these quarterly, but the summer one I'm going to put a different spin on. Everyone who signs up is going to have this weekend cheat day. Just to real test the waters here, and I'm confident we'll get the results you see here because a lot of them ended up doing the cheat day system that I use. So essentially that is it. If you're interested, you can email me at the address there. If I'm in, and we'll do a quick follow-up call. I know I've spoken to one or two of you already. We're meeting next week. I've got another guy I'm meeting on Tuesday and Monday as well. So that's essentially it. Hopefully everything I covered was pretty self-explanatory, and even if you don't want to work with me, that's totally fine. Hopefully you've got some good nuggets here that you can take forward. Let's see if I can get my webcam back on here. There we are. Can you guys see me? I promised I'd keep it to 30 minutes or less, so what are we at? 18 minutes. I have a question here. How long is the program? Oh, yeah, it's essentially month to month. I can comment directly to you if I don't have a name, I just have an email address, but it's month to month. Typically the average client is with me 3 to 6 months. Once they're comfortable going out on their own and they reach their goals, it's really an individualized thing. I have some clients that have been with me for several years now just because they want to continue the momentum, the maintenance. I'm not suggesting you need to lock in, because there is no lock-in at this stage. It's a month-to-month commitment. I know life gets in the way. So there's that. And then there are questions here I'm going to sort through. My screen froze up, so give me 1 minute here to get to the questions. Dashboard, here it is. Got a hand raised for 87 minutes, so sorry about that. So we'll take a few more questions here. Let me just sort through. Okay, there's one. So just for men. Yes and no. This program is more targeted towards men, but I do coach women as well. I just tend to work with guys like myself more so. That's kind of where I fit in better. But if you are a woman, you can reach out to me. You can see if we can make something work. It's not my prime demographic, though. All right. Here's one more question. Home workouts or gym-focused workouts? Well, to be completely honest, gym-focused workouts are going to be a little more effective, but I do have clients that kind of blend the two. They work out with me once or twice a week, and then have home workouts they can do, with a couch with a blank space of floor, basically. Keep it pretty straightforward. So yeah, if you don't have a gym membership, you don't want to desire for a gym membership, that's fine. We'll make it work. Lots of before and afters are from guys that have done that, so I can do that for you. All right. I don't want to bore the rest of you guys. I just had 2 more questions. The list of things here. Computer's really slow. Can you expect to gain muscle in the plan? That depends on your level of development. I mean, if you're a guy that's been in the gym for 10 years and you've been working hard for 10 years, you've kind of hit a wall, I still expect you to gain muscle. It's just we're focusing more on fat loss with this program. If you're a novice, you're going to get both fat loss and muscle gain. In fact, I think regardless, you're going to have that, but it's just going to be more visible with someone that's newer to the game, right? But obviously the program is targeted at muscle gain. You're not starving on this plan. You're not going to waste away. It's really about maintaining every bit of muscle you have while you're trimming down the fat. So, all right. Toaster strudels and Pop-Tarts. This guy is only going to work with me if he gets Pop-Tarts and toaster strudels. Okay. Yeah, Pop-Tarts actually apply, but they're a little higher fat, so you probably have to limit it to one during the 6-hour window. Sometimes it's 3-hour window. Depends on the person. But yeah, toaster strudels. I don't know offhand how much fat is in a toaster strudel, so I couldn't guarantee that one, but most likely it does. Most breakfast junk food fits into this weekly cheat pretty well. Okay. Well, that's all, guys. If you have any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, just reach out to me by email, Mitch at mitchcalvert.com. Pretty easy. Hopefully you got a few bits of information out of this that will help you along. You know, that's why I'm here. If you don't work with me, that's okay. I'm trying to help as many people as I can. And I think I have lots to offer in the coaching department if you feel that's a fit for you. So that's all we have. I'm going to close her down here. Appreciate everyone joining me today. And we will see you guys in your email inbox when I spam you every few days, right? All right. See you guys later.